Hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class, we are going to discuss a very important topic, and that is about Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. So I'm sure you must have heard about this, that there is a very unfortunate incident that happened in the history of India, and that is Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. So I hope you all are aware. So we will discuss that. But before that, before Jallianwala Bagh Massacre, there was a law that was passed, and that is called as Rowlatt Act. So all these things are connected. So basically, Rowlatt Act and Jallianwala Bagh Massacre both are connected to each other, and that is why I have decided to discuss both the topics. That is Rowlatt Act as well as Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. So let us begin with today's class. So basically, this is Rowlatt Act and this is Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. These two we will be discussing it in today's class. So first of all, this is our YouTube channel, and if you have not subscribed to it, so please subscribe to the channel. Go to the live section, and if you scroll down the live section, I have taken one class about all about Gandhiji's Satyagraha in India in the live section. Now, why I'm saying it? Because this is very important. This is the continuation of the same topic, okay, where I had discussed about Gandhiji's Satyagraha. Because I hope you all are aware that Gandhiji in his youth or young days, he had gone to South Africa. Then he came back. When he came back, actually, initially he traveled the entire India. Then he started the concept of Satyagraha even in India. So if you watch this and after first you watch this class, and after that, if you watch this class, which I'm discussing right now, then it will be easy for you to understand. Okay. So first, please go and watch this one class which I'm showing, and after that, watch the class that you are watching currently. Okay, this Rowlatt class. Okay, Rowlatt Act and Jallianwala Bagh. So let us begin. So I'll be asking some few questions from this class. The reason is because this is a continuation of this topic. Okay, so let us begin with that. So the first question is from the same topic, is actually Gandhiji came back from South Africa in which year? So if you know the answer, please write it in the comments. I'll be very happy to know, so that there'll be a sort of a revision for you all. Okay, so basically, Gandhiji was actually born, I hope you all are aware, on 2nd October 1869 in Porbandar, right? In Gujarat. I'm just doing a short revision. Then when he was 1893, so when he was hardly, if you see, hardly 23, 24 years of age, and he had gone to South Africa, because I hope you are aware, if you have read a little bit, that I'm sure you must be aware that he was a lawyer. So he had gone for legal professional work. He finally, bag and baggage, came back from South Africa on 9th January 1915. This is very, very important. And that is why 9th January is every year celebrated as NRI Day, Non-Resident Indian Day. Okay, also known as PBD in Hindi, which means Pravasiye Bharatiya Divas. Okay, that is what you should be knowing about. Now, so basically, and we this year also in 2025 also we celebrated NRI Day, or Non-Resident Indian Day, in Bhubaneswar in Cuttack, where Trinidad and Tobago's head of the state was invited. So we are having this regularly happening, Pravasi Bharati Divas or NRI Day. So that is what you should remember. So let me show in the map also a little bit so that you can remember. So the Gandhiji from Gujarat, born in 1869. In 1893, went to South Africa. Here is South Africa. Okay. Came back in 1915. In 1915, he came back. So when Gandhiji came back in 1915 in India, for almost next 1 year, he traveled. The next 1 year, he traveled to entire India. Why he traveled entire India? Because since for the past many years, he was not in his country, so he wanted to know the problems that the Indians were facing during the British rule. And that is why he actually came back. Okay, and he came back and traveled the entire India for 1 year. Now what happens is, after that, in 1916, the session happens, Lucknow session of Indian National Congress happens, Lucknow session. every year there used to have session of Congress. INC means Indian National Congress. And here Gandhiji actually got the chance to meet Rajkumar Shukla. So he met Rajkumar Shukla, and who convinced Gandhiji to start the first satyagraha in his home state. So now the question is, Rajkumar Shukla actually met Gandhiji. He was from, Rajkumar Shukla was from which state and where this satyagraha happened? So if you know the answer, please write it, because we have discussed it in the earlier class. So basically the first satyagraha of Gandhiji happened in 1917 in Champaran, which is actually in the state of Bihar. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. So we had earlier discussed also. So from Lucknow session happens in 1916. Gandhiji goes to Champaran. Here is Champaran in Bihar. This is Champaran in Bihar district. So this is actually Bihar, and here is Champaran. So where 1917 first satyagraha happens, and this satyagraha was for the support to indigo farmers. Okay, that is what you should be knowing about. Okay. So where actually Gandhiji fought against the Katia system, I've already discussed in the previous class. Okay, so I'm not going in that detail. Now, I've told you that 1917 Gandhiji's first satyagraha happens, and that is called as Champaran Satyagraha. The second satyagraha happens in Ahmedabad in Gujarat, 1918, called as Ahmedabad Satyagraha. And the third satyagraha happens somewhere here in Kheda, 1918, called as Kheda Satyagraha. After that, Gandhiji, these are actually localized satyagraha, which happen in a particular city, for a particular cause, particular specific cause in that city. The problem was that in that city only. But the next question is, what was Gandhiji's All India Satyagraha? It means this was pan-India, or also it is written pan-India Satyagraha. So basically this satyagraha was actually spread in the entire India, and the problem was actually the entire India. Okay. So, I mean, this issue was raised in the entire India. And please tell me the answer. Champaran Satyagraha was limited to Champaran, Bihar. Okay. Then the answer actually here is Rowlatt Satyagraha that we are going to discuss, 1919. Okay. These were also All India Satyagraha, but I'm asking first. So non-cooperation movement 1920 mein hua, civil disobedience movement 1932 mein hua. Okay. So the right answer is B. Rowlatt Satyagraha is the right answer to this question. Okay. Okay. So we are going to discuss Rowlatt Satyagraha because that is important. So yes, the question is, the Rowlatt Act was passed in which year? 1917, 1919, 1921, 1923. So basically, I have already answered you. So basically what happens is, in March 1919, Rowlatt Act was passed by Imperial Legislative Council. Now you'll be thinking, sir, what is this? This law was passed by Imperial Legislative Council. What is Imperial Legislative Council? It is like modern day parliament. So today we are having Parliament of India, which makes laws for the entire India. Yes. So similar to that, Imperial Legislative Council was actually there in Delhi during the British time, which used to make laws. Okay, similar to today's Parliament. So it passed a law called as Rowlatt Act. So B is the right answer. And it became very infamous actually, and Indians criticized it as Black Act. Now, why Indians were actually unhappy with this law? That is what we have to understand. Now, the question is, why was Rowlatt Act opposed by the Indians? Now, this is a very important, pertinent question. I have told you that Indians have called it as Black Act, and it was opposed by the Indians because it allowed the British police or the British military to arrest anyone for 2 years without trial. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of this without trial? So without trial means, for example, in today, let's say, for example, if someone is arrested, let's say in the modern day constitution, like in India, if someone is arrested, according to Article 22 of the Indian Constitution, the person, if a police has arrested someone, the police is supposed to produce it in front of a judge or a judicial magistrate within 24 hours. Means it cannot be done that police arrest someone and the police will keep it in the lockup for many years or for many days without producing it in front of a judge. Okay, because if the police is arresting someone and not producing it in front of a judge, this is considered as violation of due process of law or violation of principle of natural justice. A police cannot become a judge itself. Okay, there is a separation of police and judiciary. That is the fundamental principle of democracy. I hope you all are aware of the separation of powers, very famous. Okay, so that was the case. But in Rowlatt Act, what was the case? That British police can arrest anyone for 2 years. It will keep it in the lockup, but you will not be produced in front of a judge. You will not have a power to hire the lawyer and fight the case. Generally, आज के ज़माने क्या होता है currently that if you are arrested, of course, you have some rights as a person who has been arrested. You can hire a lawyer, you can fight your case. But if a police is not producing, without trial means produce, if a police is not producing in front of a judge, then how will you fight your case? So that is why it was considered as violation of principle of natural justice. And that is why it was opposed in the entire India. So originally, officially, it was not called as Rowlatt Act. Official term that was used is this. And you can see Anarchical and Revolutionary Crimes Act 1991. This is famously called as Rowlatt Act because this is actually a result of a committee. A committee had given the recommendation to make this law, and that committee was headed by Sidney Rowlatt. Okay, that is why this law is also called as Rowlatt Act. Okay, now you have to be very careful that Defense of India Act was also passed during World War I. If you see it carefully, so World War I was happening from 1914 to 18. So they had made some laws, stringent laws. But 1919, when the World War I was over, then why are you bringing such stringent laws? You can understand, you can give some logic that, okay, during war, there is a need for some strict laws. But what about war is over? Why are you bringing these laws? So it was brought in March 1919, and after that, Indians started protesting against it. Okay. So I've told you principle of natural justice. There are two very famous principles. One is called as audi alteram partem. Listen to the other side before passing a judgment. Other side before passing a judgment. So if a police has arrested someone, the one who has been arrested should also have a right to say. So the one who has been arrested has the right to represent himself or herself in the court with the help of a lawyer. तो उसका भी पक्ष सुनना जरूरी है ना, तो कोर्ट में ही होगा ना. That is what the idea is. The next is nemo judax in causa sua, rule against bias. It means that no one shall be a judge in your own case. It means if there is a judge and his or her relative is produced in the court, then he should withdraw himself. What we use the word recuse, है ना, कि वो अपने relative के case में judge नहीं बन सकता है ना. So that is, these are the two famous principles of natural justice. Another term which is used very much, and that is why Rowlatt Act was criticized, is presumption of innocence. It means a person is assumed to be innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. मतलब जब तक आपको अदालत सजा नहीं देती है, आपको by default innocent माना जाएगा, है ना. That is what the idea is. ठीक है. This is what very important. But in Rowlatt Act, there is no case of that. In Rowlatt Act, police can arrest anyone, keep it in the lockup for 2 years without producing it in front of a court. So this presumption of innocence was also getting violated there. Okay? And that is why it was criticized a lot. Now, ये Rowlatt Act, I hope you all are aware, है ना. So Sidney Rowlatt was the chairman of the committee who recommended this type of law, and that is why this law is famously called as Rowlatt Act. Okay. Now, I've just discussed it that similarly in modern day Indian Constitution, in Article 22, there is a provision for protection regarding arrest and detention. Like you can have your own lawyer. If you are arrested within 24 hours, you should be produced in front of a judge. You have a right to hire a lawyer, etc. These are the things that you should be knowing about. Okay. These are mentioned here. So you have some, actually, even if you are a person who has been arrested, you have some rights. And in fact, these rights have been explained in detail by the Supreme Court in D.K. Basu case. Very famous case where the Supreme Court has laid down the detailed guidelines that if you are arrested, then the police should follow these norms and rules while a person is being arrested. And these are the things you should know. You have a right to hire a lawyer, etc. Okay, that is what the idea is. If you are interested, you can watch this class. So that is what we are talking about. We are talking about Rowlatt Act, Black Act, है ना? So when the Black Act was passed, Hartal took place. So famous leaders, and Gandhiji was also instrumental in that. Madan Mohan Malviya, Mazharul Haq, and Muhammad Ali Jinnah, they all resigned from Legislative Council, Imperial Legislative Council, which has passed the law, which had passed the law. And Imperial Legislative Council is modern day parliament, I think. Okay. So the protest started happening on 6th April, May, because March, May it was passed. So in the next month, in April, actually the entire India, pan-India, and I've told you Rowlatt Satyagraha was the first all India Satyagraha of Gandhiji. That is what you should be knowing about. Okay. Now, अगर आप देखोगे, this is a cutting of the newspaper. Head में लिखा है Imperial Legislative Council. This is nothing but Parliament today, है ना? And अगर आप देखोगे, if you see it carefully, Imperial Legislative Council was having two houses: Upper House, Council of State. Today we are having it is called as Rajya Sabha, and Central Legislative Assembly, Lower House, similar to Lok Sabha today. Okay, that is what you should be knowing about. Okay, so Imperial Legislative Council and a black bill number 1 passed. Okay, that is what you should know. So Indians started calling it as Black Bill because they believe that, okay, you are giving all the powers to the police, that police can arrest anyone without trial for 2 years. And the Indians realized it, that this is specifically made by the British to harass the Indians, to harass those who will question the British and all. Okay, that is why it was called as Black Act, etc. So March, May it was passed, and in the month of April, by the month of April, there were a lot of protests in entire India. Okay, that is what you should be knowing about. Right? It was started in Mumbai, and not only in Mumbai, in every places, pan-India, I have told you. Na? So it was almost pan-India movement. Now, but something happens actually, and which resulted into what we call it as an unfortunate incident of Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. So first, please tell me that on which date Jallianwala Bagh Massacre happened. So 6th April, 13th April, 14th April, 21st April. What is the right answer? So the right answer is 13th April 1919, a very unfortunate incident of Jallianwala Bagh Massacre had happened. Now, what is that? So first of all, let me show the map. This is the state of Punjab in India. I hope you all are aware. And here is a very famous city called as Amritsar. Okay? In Amritsar, you will find this Jallianwala Bagh. Okay? So this is a bar, this is a garden type thing, you can say. So what happened was, let me explain. There was actually a Baisakhi day. There was a Baisakhi day. Baisakhi is a festival which is being celebrated in Punjab. Okay. So people had gathered in the city. I'm sure you must be aware that earlier when there was in earlier times, people from village areas used to come to the city to attend the Mela, etc. Na? Ki Mela वगैरह attend करने के लिए लोग आते थे and all. So in Amritsar was a big city, so of course people had come, and there were a celebration mood also, Baisakhi and all. So there were everywhere markets and melas were there. So already there were actually good number of people on the roads, because of festival and all. So what happened was, in Jallianwala Bagh, some Indians were protesting. Why? Because their two leaders were arrested. These were the two leaders, Saifuddin Kechriu and Satyapal. They were protesting against Rowlatt Act, which was passed in March 1919. So they were protesting, and they both were arrested and sent to jail by the police, by the British police. So what happened was, in response to their arrest, the people sat in Jallianwala Bagh. They were demanding that both the leaders, two leaders, should be released. Okay, this was the protest. So some Indians were doing protests. They were sitting. So since that was a Baisakhi day in Amritsar, many people actually saw that, okay, Indians are protesting. Our fellow Indians are protesting for the release of the two leaders. So those who had come for Mela also, they also started participating. So there in Jallianwala Bagh, actually huge gathering happened where they were protesting against the British. And what happened when the protest was large? So let's say this is a Jallianwala Bagh. It is said that there is only one gate, and General Dyer entered the ground and with imposed martial law entered the ground and all ordered the military to open the fire on the innocent people. They were weaponless. उनके पास हथियार नहीं था ना, तो ऐसे protest कर रहे थे. They were doing peaceful protest, and he ordered to open the fire, and a great sin was committed by him along with the forces. And of course, actually many people died, and this is what we call it as the unfortunate incident of Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. That is what you should be knowing about. So ये पता होना चाहिए. This can be asked, who was the army officer? So General R.E.H. Dyer was the army officer who was there and who ordered the troops to open the fire. And many people actually died. We don't know the exact number. There are different people say there are different numbers and all. Now there is one more question. When this happened, there was a lieutenant governor of Punjab also at the time of Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. So when he went back to England, he was killed by Udham Singh in revolt, as a revenge. Udham Singh par film bhi bani, I'm sure you must have seen. There's a Bollywood film also on that. So who is that person? You have to tell me. If you know the answer, I'll be very happy to know. So the answer to this question is Michael O. Dwyer. ठीक है. अब आप confuse मत कीजिएगा General Dyer से. General Dyer was an army officer. General Dyer was an army officer who entered the premises and ordered to open the fire. Michael Dwyer was the lieutenant governor of Punjab at that time. He was also there. The Brigadier R.E.H. Dyer was a military officer. Okay, Michael O'Dwyer was the lieutenant governor of Punjab. When he went back to England, this person was killed. So Michael O'Dwyer was actually killed by Udham Singh, Sardar Udham Singh, assassinated. And that is why you should be knowing it. That it is very, very important. You should know about it, and you should not get confused with R.E.H. Dyer and Michael O'Dwyer, although the name are similar. It is true that he had endorsed. देखा ना, Michael Dwyer ने support किया था Reginald Dyer को, यानी जो army officer था. He had supported that. Yes, go ahead and kill, etc. and all. So these are the few things you should be knowing about. Okay. Now, what was the name? What happened was, after that, a commission was set up to inquire about, to probe the Jallianwala Bagh Massacre. And these are the options: Hunter Commission, Peel Commission, Whitley Commission, Simon Commission. And the answer to this question is actually Hunter Commission of 1919. Please be careful. We have seen two Hunter Commission, one in 1882, but this was related with education. That's a different one. So this is, of course, after 1919, this Hunter Commission was set up. And it actually, what happened was, यहाँ देख सकते हो 1919 वाला. Let me actually. So these are actually the members. Let me show of Hunter Commission. Now, if you see it carefully, there were some Indians like this one, this one, this. So the Indians actually opposed it. Indians said that actually this is Jallianwala Bagh Massacre is a crime and there should be a punishment. But since, if you see, the majority members are white. So what happened was, finally the Hunter Commission had said that actually, they said, you know, it is fine. There's nothing wrong in what the General Dyer has done. So they actually gave clean chit to General Dyer. But please remember, there were some Indians who had opposed it also. But since they were in minority in numbers, their say was not that much prominent. So the final judgment of the commission was that give clean chit to General Dyer. That is what actually had happened. Okay. Now, what happened was, in 2013, the David Cameron, the British Prime Minister, recently, 10 years back, 10 to 12 years back, when he visited Amritsar, he accepted that it was a shameful event, but did not ask for apology. है ना? एक होता है symbolic apology करने के लिए, although he can say that I was not involved in that. है ना? He can say that, but there is a symbolic apology that, okay, I'm a British Prime Minister and previously my from my country a crime was committed, so I should ask for forgiveness. But he had accepted that it was a shameful event, but did not ask for apology. Okay, he should have apologized, So that is what you should be knowing. Okay, one more thing. Recently, this book was in the news, Heartland, written by Banu Mushtaq and translated from Kannada language to English by Deepa Bhasti. Please answer it in the comment section why this book was in the news. It is very, 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 very important. Star mark kar lo. This would be asked in any exam wherever GK and current affairs is there. Please answer me in the comment section once the class is over. Okay. So this is all about today's class. Thank you, everyone. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, share this video. Thanks for watching.